As a dad, thinking about what the world will look like for my kids really hits home. It gets me fired up about something that I believe could make a big difference: term limits in politics. Just like we teach our kids to take turns and not hog the swing, shouldn't our politicians do the same? It is a topic that I wish Trump, Biden, and RFK Jr. would openly discuss in anticipation of the 2024 presidential election. As for me, these are just a few reasons why I believe term limits should be a topic that we need to consider when filling out our ballot. First off, let's tackle the power issue. You know how it goes. If one kid keeps control of the playground day after day, things start to feel unfair. It's similar in politics. When the same folks cling to power too long, they start thinking they own the place. They scratch each other's backs, and suddenly they care more about staying in power than really doing something good. Term limits could prevent this kind of monopoly, breaking up the old guard and making room for new faces and new ideas. We need fresh ideas on the floor. I want my kids to inherit a world that's innovative and quick to tackle new challenges. Sticking with leaders who might be out of touch with the latest issues, well, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Term limits means regularly bringing in fresh minds with new solutions, keeping our government sharp and ready for today's problems. I want to open up the doors wide. Seeing the same old names on the ballot year after year, that's getting to be a real downer. It makes politics feel like a private club. Term limits could open the door wider, letting in people from all walks of life who might better reflect today's America and bring fresh perspectives to the table, making sure that everybody is heard, and that would also light a fire under them. Here's a thought. Knowing that you've only got a limited time to make your mark could really motivate our leaders to get moving. It's like telling my kids that they've got an hour until dinner. Suddenly, they're racing around getting as much playtime in as they can. If politicians know they can't just coast on autopilot until the next election, well, then we might actually see them focusing on making real changes, not just playing it safe to hang on to their jobs. It creates that accountability. And we need to handle that pushback. Sure, people worry about losing good leaders too soon or ending up with newbies who have to learn the ropes, but isn't it scarier to have a government so stuck in its ways that it forgets who it's supposed to serve? I'd argue that shaking things up with some fresh energy now and then is worth that trade-off. And of course, I'm always considering my kids' future. Looking at my little ones, I want to be sure that they will grow up in a country that keeps up with them, that stays as dynamic and hopeful as they are. Term limits aren't about switching out who's in charge. They're about making sure our political system stays alive and kicking, ready to face new challenges head on. I want a government that doesn't just get by on old habits, but thrives on new ideas and real engagement. Every time we vote, it's not just about picking a president or a senator. It's about choosing how we want our political system to evolve. And to me, term limits seems like a no-brainer for building a future where my kids and all of our kids have a fair shot at a great tomorrow. That is exactly the kind of change that I can get behind.